You know, it's funny. Have you ever noticed that the moments that scare you the most are often the ones that show you how strong you really are? Well, today, we're diving right into that exact paradox, how our deepest fears can actually become the source of our greatest power. Let's get started.
Okay, so our journey starts with a word that, well, it feels just as uncomfortable as the emotion it describes, writhe. We're not just talking about a physical twisting here. No, it's that deep, internal struggle, that contortion we feel when we're just caught in the grip of fear or wrestling with some serious self-doubt.
And that brings me to a big question I want you to just kind of hold in the back of your mind as we go through this. Seriously, take a second. When was a time you realized you were way stronger than you ever gave yourself credit for? What did that moment even feel like?
All right, Section 1, the fear of weakness. So, let's get right to the root of this whole struggle, which is that all-consuming anxiety, the fear of our own weakness.
And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? A lot of the time, it's not the actual challenge in front of us that's so terrifying. It's the fear that we won't be strong enough to handle it, you know? That feeling is so massive, it feels like it could just swallow you whole.
So how does this fear actually show up in our heads? Well, a lot of the time it's through this pattern our brains get into, where we just automatically jump to the worst-case scenario. It's such a strange defense mechanism, right? Like we're trying to protect ourselves, but in doing so, we just end up feeding the very anxiety we're trying to run away from.
Okay, Section 2, one versus the many. Now, this all leads to a really fascinating psychological question. Are we stronger when we're on our own or as part of a team? The answer? Well, it might actually surprise you.
Just take a look at this breakdown here. When you're facing something alone, your sense of control is high, right? And because of that, there's less uncertainty. You know what you can do. But the second you introduce a group, that feeling of control just plummets. Uncertainty skyrockets because now you're dealing with other people, all these new variables. And look what happens to our sense of our own strength. It suddenly becomes a big question mark.
And here's where we land on that central paradox. The fear can actually feel way bigger when you're alone because all the responsibility is on your shoulders. But, and this is the key, it's that exact intense pressure, that laser focus that can unlock a hidden reserve of strength you never even knew you had.
Section 3, the power of control. So if going it alone can make us feel stronger, what's the deal with control? What makes it so powerful? Let's dig in.
Okay, I want you to think about any tough situation you've ever been in. What's the one thing that really gets to you? Is it how hard the task is? Probably not. The real enemy, it's uncertainty. It's the not knowing what other people are going to do, not knowing how it's all going to play out. That's what really cranks up our anxiety.
And that's why some people adopt this lone wolf mentality. It's a strategy, you see. By choosing to go it alone, you grab control. You shrink the number of unknowns, and because of that, you feel stronger and way more capable of getting the job done.
But let's be super clear here. This whole lone wolf thing, it's usually not about distrusting other people. It's a way to manage our own anxiety. It's about taking a big, messy, complicated problem and boiling it down to the one thing you can focus on, which you can control.
All right, Section 4, strength from within. So if control is the strategy we use, where does the fuel come from? You know, that deep, lasting strength? Let's talk about that.
I mean, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? When things get really tough, what actually keeps us going? Is it just getting a pat on the back from other people? Is it pure willpower? Or is there something deeper?
Well, we can kind of think about our sources of strength in a few different levels. So level 1, the good level, is getting recognition from other people. Hey, it feels great, gives you a boost. Then better is depending on yourself. That's self-sufficiency. But the absolute best, the most sustainable source of strength, that comes from remembering your why, your purpose. And this is so important. Getting approval from others, it's like a sugar rush. It gives you a quick hit of energy, but it doesn't last. You can't build your entire foundation on what other people think, because that can be taken away in a heartbeat. Real, lasting strength has to come from inside.
Which brings us to our final section, and honestly, the most powerful idea of them all. What's your why?
Because here it is. The ultimate tool you have against fear is your purpose. Think of it like an anchor in a storm. When all those waves of doubt and uncertainty are just crashing all around you, your why is the thing that holds you steady. It gives you a real reason to keep pushing forward.
And this is how you actually use it. In that moment of panic, when self-doubt starts creeping in, the move is simple. Just pause.
and reconnect with your purpose. Ask yourself, why am I here? What does doing my best right now mean to me? Making that connection can completely recenter you and give you the strength you need for that very next step.
So we're going to leave you with this final question. When everything else feels totally uncertain, what is your why? It's a question worth really thinking about. Because when you're facing that next big challenge, and you feel yourself start to writhe with that uncertainty, knowing the answer to that question might just be the one thing that proves how incredibly strong you really are. Thanks for joining me.